The Galactic Council had ruled the known universe for 12,000 cycles, from the crystalline towers of Proxima Centauri to the gas mines of Kepler 442b. Every civilized species bent knee to their authority. Every species, that is, except one. Earth had been discovered 300 cycles ago, a blue-green jewel orbiting an unremarkable yellow star. The Council's exploratory fleet had expected the usual protocol: contact, negotiate, assimilate. Instead, they received a polite but firm message transmitted in perfect galactic standard. Thank you for your interest. Earth respectfully declines membership in the Galactic Council. We wish you well. The Council was baffled. Species didn't decline. Membership meant access to faster-than-light travel, medical technology that could extend lifespans by centuries, and protection from the countless dangers lurking in the void. Yet humanity had simply said no. Ambassador Thexelon, a towering reptilian from Draconis Prime, had laughed when he heard the response. They'll beg to join within a generation, he'd predicted, once they see what they're missing. But humanity didn't beg. They stayed on their little planet, tending their gardens and watching their skies in silence. At first, the Council left them alone. Earth was quarantined, marked as a curiosity for anthropologists and nothing more. But as the cycles passed, the Council's attitude shifted from amusement to annoyance, and finally, to contempt. It started small. Galactic cargo ships began dumping their waste in Earth's solar system. It's unclaimed space, they argued. The outer planets became littered with toxic refuse and discarded technology. Earth filed formal complaints. They were ignored. Then came the scientific expeditions, unauthorized vessels that would swoop into Earth's atmosphere, abduct specimens, and vanish before anyone could respond. Humans returned days later with gaps in their memories and strange scars. Earth protested again. The Council dismissed their concerns as paranoia. The breaking point came when the Council decided to build a hyperspace relay station directly in Earth's path around the Sun. The construction would destabilize the planet's orbit within 50 cycles, rendering it uninhabitable. Relocate your population, Ambassador Thexelon had said with a dismissive wave, or finally join the Council. Either way, the relay will be built. For the first time in 300 cycles, Earth didn't respond with words. The construction fleet arrived at the designated coordinates, 12 massive ships carrying enough materials to build a structure the size of a small moon. They began their work, confident and careless. They didn't notice the small vessels approaching from Earth until it was too late. The human ships were primitive by galactic standards. No energy shields, no quantum weapons, no faster-than-light drives. But they moved with a precision and coordination that the Council's forces had never encountered. They struck like a surgical blade, targeting the construction fleet's power cores with railgun slugs traveling at a fraction of light speed. The first ship exploded in silence, then the second, then the third. Within minutes, the entire construction fleet was debris. The Council was outraged. They dispatched a military armada, 300 warships strong, to teach humanity a lesson. It was the largest fleet ever assembled for a punitive mission. It never reached Earth. The human defense network was unlike anything the Council had ever seen. They didn't rely on energy shields or particle beams. Instead, they used kinetic weapons, nuclear warheads, and something the Council had forgotten existed: chemical explosives. The technologies were ancient, brutal, and devastatingly effective. More importantly, humanity fought with a ferocity that shocked the galaxy. Council soldiers were trained and disciplined, but they fought for duty. Humans fought for survival, for their families, for the only home they'd ever known. The armada was routed within a week. Ambassador Thexelon stood before the Council chambers, his scales pale with shock. Reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Human ships, still primitive, still slow, had begun appearing at every Council installation that had dumped waste in their system. They weren't conquering. They were cleaning, forcibly removing every piece of refuse and depositing it on the doorsteps of the species responsible. They tracked it, Thexelon whispered. Every piece of garbage, every ship that took their people. They tracked all of it. The Council convened an emergency session. For the first time in 12,000 cycles, they were afraid. A message arrived from Earth, transmitted across every channel. We never wanted your technology. We never wanted your protection. We wanted respect. You mistook our silence for weakness, our patience for cowardice. We stayed quiet because we believed in peace. But you have shown us that peace requires strength. We are not your enemies. We are not your subjects. We are humanity, and we will not be ignored again. Leave us in peace, and we will leave you in peace. But understand this. Earth may be one small planet, but we have learned to defend what is ours. And we will not ask twice. The Council's response came within hours. All operations in the Sol system would cease immediately. All abducted humans would be returned. Formal recognition of Earth's sovereignty would be issued, along with reparations for the damages inflicted. Ambassador Thexelon was the one who delivered the terms personally. As his ship approached Earth, he looked at the blue planet with new eyes. He had spent his life believing that the Council's way was the only way, that civilization required submission to a greater authority. Humanity had taught him otherwise. They had stayed quiet not because they were weak, but because they were wise enough to know that silence was a choice. And when that choice was no longer available, they had shown the galaxy what happened when you pushed too far. Earth stayed quiet after that day. But it was a different kind of quiet now. The quiet of a world that had proven itself, that had earned its place among the stars not through submission, but through strength and resolve. And the Galactic Council never forgot the lesson. Sometimes the quietest voices carry the sharpest teeth.